The artist sees what others only catch a glimpse of, thus masterpieces that does not bring understanding does not always gain likes. A pleasant day everyone, we are going to share about an artist that barely gained acceptance of his art style but soon became one of the most significant artists in the Philippines. It is Victorio Edades. Victorio Edades was born on December 13, 1895 to Hilario and Cecilia Edades. He grew up in Dagupan, Pangasinan, where he received his early education in various schools. During his early years, people have seen his artistic abilities. He was even considered an apprentice teacher in his art class due to his talent. Edades traveled to the United States and enrolled at the University of Washington in Seattle, taking up architecture and later earned a Master of Fine Arts in painting. His artistic expression was developed and influenced by an art exhibition in the U.S., where it featured modern way of painting.
Made national artist in painting in 1976, he is known as the father of modern Philippine painting. In 1919, he left for the United States to study architecture and fine arts at the University of Washington. It was also during his stay in the U.S. that he married American Jean Garrott, with whom he had his only daughter. Victorio Edades became Dean of the Department of Architecture at the University of Santo Tomas in the 1930s, a position he held for 3 decades. During this time, he developed a liberal arts program that includes subjects such as art history and foreign language and leads to a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree. Edades retired from the UST at the age of 70 and he was awarded a Doctor of Fine Arts degree, which he then settled in Davao after retirement.
Victorio Edades, also known as modernist art, painting distorted human figures in rough, bold impasto strokes and standing tall and singular in his advocacy and practice of what he believes is the creative art. Edades' colors were dark and somber with subject matter or themes depicting laborers, factory workers, or the simple folk in all their dirt, sweat, and grime. Among of his artworks are the sketch, the artist and the model, portrait of the professor, Japanese girl, mother and daughter.
The sketch. Victorio Edades painted it because it gave him the artistic direction he was looking for, one of his noble work. The sketch was painted in America and exhibited at the Seattle Fine Arts Society. Mother and Daughter. This is a portrait of Jane Noble Garrott, the house mother of the Filipino clubhouse in Seattle, and her daughter Jean. This work was created when Victorio was studying in the U.S. Later on, Jean becomes the wife of Victorio Edades. The Builders. This artwork conveyed the essence of man engaged in labor through the contortion of the bodies. Victorio Edades was able to communicate the belief in the possibility of building better road through skill, hard work, and collaboration.
Some of remarkable works of art by Victorio Edades is The Wrestler. This was made on 1927 and made out of oil on canvas in measures of 60 x 45 cm. This is one of his famous and popular artwork for its creative and meaningful painting. National artist Victorio Edades paints a scene of Davao's rich topography, water, mountain, and plain existing on one compositional frame. Edades portrays line and form through impasto stroke reminiscent of post-impressionist Cézanne and Gauguin, from which he was heavily influenced throughout his career. Woman bathing by a waterfall. This was created on 1953 and made on oil canvas. It is a gift from the artist to Cirilo Salonga. It is acquired from the previous by the present owner. So those are some of Edades' paintings that are still known and valuable this present time.
Some awards and distinctions of Victoria Idades include First Prize English Composition Contest Dagupan in 1915, Gold Medal Oratorical Contest in 1919, free tuition for high scholastic Sanding University of Washington in 1921 to 1928, and chairman of the jury art competition among Filipino painters in 1942. One of the awards of Victoria Idades was his artwork entitled The Sketch. It is completed in 1928 and won the second prize in the annual exhibition of North American artists. This artwork is now part of the National Fine Arts collection of the National Museum of the Philippines, and it is exhibited in the gallery devoted to the pillars of Philippine modernism.
To sum up, Idades is recognized for revolutionizing the art of modern painting, thus earning for himself the title of Father of Philippine Modern Art. Because he was the most prominent modernist advocate, he led the 13th Moderns, a group of artists who believed in and promoted modernism in their work.
He brought modern art to the Philippines at a time when the country was still largely conservative. His works were not well received by the public and none of his paintings were sold. Despite this, his contribution was recognized in 1976 when he was named a National Artist of the Philippines in Visual Arts.
The Sketch, Mother and Daughter, The Builders, The Wrestlers, Davao Landscape, Woman Bathing by a Waterfall are some of the artwork of Victorio Idades. His legacy to Philippine art is a valuable contribution to the continuing evolution of the country's culture.